So in a couple of days, we will watch a live execution. You can't mess with the Minecraft Steve head, bro. Zhang Mingyang's too powerful. The KO artist versus the KO'd artist. Zhang Mingyang, first round KO. There's no way Johnny Walker makes out the first round alive, bro. Like, he's got the worst chin in the UFC. There's
no way Johnny Walker makes out the first round alive, bro. Like,
well done.
Yeah, okay, that's kind of awkward. But to be fair, yeah, on paper, Zhang Mingyang wins every single day of the week. I guess Johnny Walker just can't read. Anyway, let's talk about this fight night. Walker versus Mingyang. Zhang just finished like this morning, technically. It was a pretty decent fight night. I mean, my predictions went 7-5, so not amazing, but not terrible, I guess. A lot of these fights were a bit dead, but there are quite a few pretty good finishes on this card. Anyway, let's talk about some of the fights. The first one that I'm going to talk about is Michel Pereed versus Kyle Dawkins. Man, this was kind of sad to see. Michel Pereed is definitely a shell of his former self. He gets knocked out within 40 seconds against Kyle Dawkins, who got cut from the UFC. So, I mean, if you're getting knocked up by him in 40 seconds, you know something's going wrong, especially because Michel Pereed was literally a ranked fighter like 1 year ago. And if you compare his style of what got him to the rankings compared to now, then you will see like he doesn't do none of those backflip flashy stuff anymore. But I think that works for him, man. And I think against someone like Kyle Dawkins, you just need to go out and be crazy. Plus, you know, it's also obviously entertaining for the fans. So yeah, man, it's sad to see, but I guess very good knockout from Kyle Dawkins. Anyway, next up, let's talk about Charles Johnson versus Lona Kavanagh. This was a big upset, man. I'm sure a lot of us thought that Lona Kavanagh would get this one done, and he was doing pretty well in that fight up until the KO. Charles Johnson does it again, the prospect killer. He did it to Van, and now he's just sent it to Lona Kavanagh. Maybe Lona Kavanagh will come back and have a big resurgence, just like Joshua Van did. But in this first round, Kavanagh was landing a lot more. He was way quicker than Charles Johnson, and he ultimately took that round. But that second round, Johnson actually, I think he did actually land more significant strikes in that second round, even before the KO. And then, right after that KO, Johnson follows his team's order perfectly. The team says, back him up and land a shot. That's exactly what he did. He backs up Kavanagh against the cage. Kavanagh gets careless, puts his hands down, and Johnson makes him pay. Absolutely slumps him. The prospect killer, man. Also, I have to say, bro, like, I have to give it to Charles Johnson in his interview as well. He was speaking a lot of Chinese. I'm sure he probably memorized that before or something. So I have to rate him for that. And also that, bro, that, am I bugging? Was that translator like one of the worst translators in UFC history? Sorry, I have to say it. Next up, let's talk about Naraji versus Kiefer Crosby. This was, I don't know, it's kind of a mixed performance. Obviously, it was an extremely good performance from Naraji, but obviously it was tainted by that illegal knee. He got 2 points taken off for that, but it didn't really matter because he just got the TKO anyway. To be fair, he was controlling Kiefer Crosby for pretty much the whole fight. He had great ground and pound as well, but then obviously he lands a blatantly illegal knee. To be honest, he deserved to get disqualified. He was lucky that Kiefer Crosby was, fit to continue, and then after that he lands some good ground and pound and gets the finish. So it was a decent win, but it was a bit tainted. Next up, Pavlovich versus Aosta. To be honest, this was a bit of a dead fight. Round one, they were both absolutely swinging for the gates, yeah, but I would say Pavlovich just edged that round as he landed a few more significant shots. Round two, again, like some good counters from Pavlovich. They both landed good shots in that round, but Aosta was kind of just swinging frantically, and Pavlovich was, countering so well, making him pay for it. Aosta was being a little bit careless, man. He had his hands down. He got caught a couple times for it. And yeah, Pavlovich just landed more shots again. So that's 2 rounds for Pavlovich. And then the third round, a lot of kicks, actually. I think once one started kicking, the other started kicking as well. And I remember there was a big shot from Pavlovich just after the first minute of that round. Massive shots from Pavlovich. So I'm surprised that Aosta was able to survive that. But yeah, I mean, Pavlovich gets the easy 30-27, or I think it might have been a 29-28. But yeah, man, this is the second decision in a row for Pavlovich. Is he officially a boring fighter? You guys let me know. What's next for these guys, though? Obviously, Pavlovich is on a 2-fight winning streak. Maybe the loser of Gon versus Aspinall should fight Pavlovich, and then if Pavlovich can win that, he should get a title shot. For Wilder Cortez Acosta, he's going to have to fight down now. So I think Derek Lewis actually called him out, so I think that would be a good fight. Next fight, the co-main event, Sterling versus Ortega, 5 rounds. This was a very dominant performance from Sterling. A lot of people were saying it was a boring fight, but I think it was actually pretty entertaining. In round 1, Sterling comes out very strong leg kicks especially. Even one leg kick dropped Ortega pretty early on. But overall, Sterling was just landing more. He had some big right hands. It was a pretty decent first round from Sterling. It was probably one of his best rounds. Perfectly timed striking. He was just, moving out of the way just in time, then countering perfectly. Good leg kicks as well. And, if this fight would stay standing, Sterling would clearly dominate. And only 2 significant strikes from Ortega in that round, and Sterling was around 25. So yeah, that was an amazing first round from Sterling. Second round, Sterling again, great jab. He was trying to do some weird spinning attacks. I don't know what that was. And then near the end of that round, there was a controversial eye poke moment where it's was that an eye poke or was it a punch? Ortega low-key got let off the hook there. I'm going to be real. If Sterling actually fully pressed, he might have actually got the finish there. But yeah, good leg kicks as well from Sterling in that second round. Third round, Ortega definitely came out more aggressive. Good body kicks from him. But again, Sterling with that great jab, keeping the distance by jabbing perfectly. And I think Ortega got dropped by another leg kick. It was definitely Ortega's best round so far. I mean, he had strong leg kicks. He landed a few good shots, especially within those last few seconds of the round. But even so, Sterling landed a nice spinning elbow at the end of that round. And he just landed way more overall. He had amazing jabs, so he won that round. But I will say he was getting a bit comfortable in the end of that round. Hands were dangerously low, and he was kind of jumping around the octagon. Round 4, Sterling, he was constantly getting pushed against the cage. This was very dangerous. He could have got bashed with a big hand and probably knocked out, but he got a takedown against Ortega against the cage, wildly swinging at the end to get some ground and pound. And, although Sterling was definitely put in some very dangerous positions, he evaded well. He was able to get the takedown. So, yeah, good round from him again. And round 5, Ortega needed a finish. Otherwise, this was going to be a 50-45. He attempts a takedown, but, Sterling is able to flip that position pretty well. Ends up on top. And, it's just so refreshing to see, a fighter that is not scared at all to go to the ground with Ortega. And he had a right hand that hurt him in this round, and he had another takedown in this round as well. He took Ortega's back. Big shots landed from the bottom actually from Ortega, but then Sterling came right back, raining down hammer fists and big shots, and he wins the round off ground and pound and 2 takedowns. So there it is, 50-45. I mean, this fight literally suited Ortega in the most ways possible. It was 5 rounds like Ortega wanted, 153 pounds, which suited Ortega much more, and Sterling dominates him. That guy is a real fighter. In that post-fight interview, I thought Aljo was going to retire, low-key. The way he was speaking, he was setting it up to be a retirement speech. But anyway, I'm glad that he didn't. He said that he wants to fight Volkanovski. I don't think he deserves it just yet, but I do definitely think one more good win, solid win, maybe against a Yair Rodriguez, or actually Diego Lopez is already booked. Yeah, maybe Yair Rodriguez. I think that would be a good fight. I don't think they fought. And for Ortega, he needs to go up to lightweight for sure. Fight someone in the lightweight division, maybe Renato Moicano or something like that. And now, of course, the main event. We have to talk about it because, I mean, my prediction, it aged like fine milk, bro. Yeah, and the people in my comment section from my last video aren't hesitating to tell me that. Yeah, I've got 10 comments telling me that in my last video. But yeah, man, I mean, how can you guys blame me for predicting Ming Yang Zhang when, Johnny Walker has such a bad chin, or has had a pretty bad chin in his last few fights. Not many people were predicting Walker by KO. But there was actually one guy in my comment section, I will say this, there was a guy in my comment section in my last video that said Walker by KO, so fair enough to that guy. Anyway, let's talk about this fight. Obviously, the first round, Johnny Walker straight, instead of doing he does the Khamzat Chimaev method, where it's like instead of the handshake, he goes straight for the takedown, and then it ends up horribly for him. So I mean, that first round it was pretty dominant, but you know, it was nothing special. Second round, the calf kick, man, it got him. It got Zhang Mingyang proper. Those were some tough leg kicks, and then just loads of ground and pound for Walker until the eventual finish. Amazing performance from Walker. I'm still just shocked that happened. But what's next for them? Zhang Mingyang, I think he needs to go back to the unranked scene a little bit. You know, fight one of these top guys. Maybe like what's that guy's name? Dustin Jacoby. Maybe fight him. Get another free finish. For Walker, you can't really... you can't justify giving him a step up in competition, to be honest. I think maybe him versus Alonzo Menifield would be a good fight. I don't think they fought before, have they? So yeah, I think that would be a decent fight to make after this. So there it is, my review of this fight night. Overall, I would say it was a pretty decent fight night. I mean, there were some pretty stale fights, which is why I didn't talk about them. Like, for example, that Sumu Daerji fight. Like, I watched it, but I'm not going to talk about it just because that was a dead fight. Anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts on this fight night. Please do like, comment, share, subscribe. Turn on that post notification bell so that you guys get notified every time I upload. And yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys next time. Safe.